All right, it is time for a Friday Reads video. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today and to share with you my Friday Reads. In my Friday Reads videos, I share the books that I finished, the books I started, and anything interesting about books that I'm carrying over week to week. And this week, I do think I have a little bit of everything, although it's a little bit different because it's the third week of Summer Fling, so I'm going to be sharing a little update on that. And then it also is the History Challenge, which I shared my TBR in my Monday Reads, which was only 5 days ago. It's kind of weird to do like another video when I've only had like 5 days or like 4 days of reading. So I have read some stuff and I have finished some stuff and I'm on to new stuff and I've carried on stuff. So I guess if you want to put all of that together, then that means I have enough for a video. And wow, I wish these tablets were just like a little bit smaller for my hands. Anyway, so we're going to start with Summer Fling and then go to some stuff that's not necessarily associated with a readathon, and then I will get to my update on my history stuff and then what is coming in the future. So Summer Fling week 3. So I finished Fit by Rebekah Weatherspoon. I talked about this in my last video. This is a contemporary novella. It features a woman who hires a personal trainer because she wants to lose a little bit of weight, and then the relationship starts to develop from there. This one I felt kind of complicated about because they go into I don't know, there are some very light BDSM stuff in it, not really like the guy character is a dom, but they don't go too much into that. That didn't bother me too much, except for that they didn't really, they talked about it kind of. I don't know. This is one actually, in a weird way, I think it was actually really good at showing when communication doesn't go well, at being able to actually come back from that. But the conversations weren't necessarily super long or anything, but I thought they were good conversations. That being said, I felt like it didn't push boundaries. I don't know. I am such a person who feels very strongly about habits, and personal goals and stuff like this. So for this one, I felt like that the fact that she started having kind of a relationship with her trainer, who's someone supposed to help her out with her goals, but she could easily start to associate rewards from him with her goals. I was like, that's not really good. But they do talk about stuff like that. And then there was a friend character that I felt like I wasn't quite sure what they were saying, whether or not she had a good friendship, the relationship with her friend was a good one, was not a good one. But again, it was one where there were conversations where they actually talked about it and it developed, where I find often in romance novels there's one big miscommunication and everything gets wrapped up in that. This was not like that. There was progression and development, which was good, but it was also unexpected and therefore slightly uncomfortable, but not necessarily bad. So I felt very I wouldn't say conflicted about this one, but it was murky, because relationships sometimes are. So it was an interesting read. It is very racy, so if that's something you're into, it's a good fit. But I wasn't sure there was some of the power dynamics in terms of someone who is your trainer encouraging you in this way, but you're paying them. It got a little but again, they talked about it. So that was all really good. This is the first in a trilogy, I think, of all novellas. And so there is more to enjoy in this world. I don't know what I'm going to include this for the Summer Fling. It would fit for Big City, because it's set in LA. It would fit Dark and Dangerous depending on your perspective. Author of color and diversity. It is an interracial couple. So yeah, so I finished that off, and so one more title read. I think that's my 4th title read, maybe, for the Summer Fling. And then I picked up the next one, which was Deceptions by Janice Kaiser. This is a Harlequin Temptation, so this I could easily include as category romance. It could also be Dark and Dangerous. Could also be road trip, because there's a fair amount of driving in this one. This one centers around a woman who she comes home for Thanksgiving, and her mom says that there's someone that is connected to their family from the past who's reached out, wants her help with something, and so she goes and helps him, or tries to help him, or responds to that call for help. This one, it's a little complicated because there's definitely challenges. This could be considered taboo depending on your perspective, because the person who reaches out to her is actually someone who used to date her sister. So that's a little treading the line, depending on where your line is. But it's actually more of a suspense one. You can kind of sort of tell by the cover. One of the things that I like about it, and I think actually one of the things I might like about some of the older, or the 90s-ish Harlequins, is he comes to her for help. She's a PI, she used to be FBI, and he is in need of an investigator to help him out with something. And I often find with suspensey romances, it's the reverse gender dynamic. It's a woman who needs to be protected, or someone who has a stalker or an ex, and the law enforcement person tends to be the guy if it's a male-female romance. And so I am actually really enjoying the fact that this is different. She's the one who people are coming to with questions. She's the one whose people are asking for expertise. So it's interesting. It's not super romancy. Like, I am 90 pages into, this is like 240 pages, not even 216 pages, and like there's not much has happened. And again, it's sort of a little, depending on how you feel about it, the fact that he was involved with their sister. And that comes up a lot. The one thing that I would say for this one, for 90 pages, there is a certain amount of ground that gets retreaded over and over and over again. That being said, I am enjoying it. The suspense stuff, I'm not a huge fan of, because I don't like reading suspensey stuff at night, and that is when I tend to read the most. So it's a little challenging to work it in, but I've always been able to get a couple of chapters in, and I hope to finish it by the end of the weekend. So yeah, so that is my other romance that I'm reading. I also, one of my focus read for right just now is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. This I am buddy reading with Izzy, Punk Rock Girl PA. Hi, Izzy. And the live show is on Tuesday, August 25th at 7 p.m. on her channel. Keep an eye on her channel and Twitter and Instagram for information on that. I'll retweet when it goes live. I'll try and remember to do that. I usually do that. So this is, this one is a little challenging. I'm not as far into it as I want to be. It's like an urban fantasy. I was sold on it because it's urban fantasy and sirens. I was like, yes, sirens, and then possibly mermaids, but I don't think so. It features two protagonists, one of which is a siren, but this is one of the ones, this is an urban fantasy where it's set in the real world, but sirens are a known entity and they are feared. And because of their ability to control or impact people and stuff. But the thing with this is it's actually very, very, very clearly allegory. It's current day set, and it is really talking about race relations, and some of the particular instances and things that are feared, and the things that are like the idea of needing to hide your power, to be under the radar, to not show strength, but then also the hurt with people who insensitively bring up social issues or racial issues, because it's allegory for race. I find that's how I'm reading it. The hurt that is maintained or that is endured by the insensitivity. So this is a bit of a challenging read because I was really drawn into it because like mermaids and sirens, but it really has a very direct current day message about things that are going on. So it's a bit of a harder read than I expected, but it is very good. I really do like the characters. There are other urban fantasy elements, some of which I am familiar with, some of which I am not familiar with, so that's actually really exciting. It actually has one of my favorite things that I feel like is you very, very rarely see, but I don't know the impact of it, and that's the other thing. It's actually quite mysterious how they talk about the groups, and there's sort of like, I don't know, it's like not necessarily like an underground or something, but there's definitely people who look out for each other, and she lives, like this other girl lives with her and her family, but they're not sisters, but they, it's really engaging, but it's harder than I expected. I'm a little, so that's making me trying to read it at a more sensitive or absorption level place, and which I was not expecting. So yeah, so there's that one. And then sort of along the same topic, but nonfiction, I'm also reading So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijeoma Oluo. I think that's how you pronounce the author's name. And maybe it is, I don't know if it is good or if it is bad that I am reading these two books at the same time, because this one is talking very much in a nonfiction way, some of the issues that are directly coming up in this one. And so it's good, but it's also a lot to take in. This is actually excellent. It is very good. It is very clear. I'm reading it one chapter at a time and really trying to absorb the message and the information that's given in it. And it really gives really good direct examples of, things that happened and what you can say, and the impact of just sort of like brushing something off versus very directly, saying, well, the impact of that is actually yada, 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 and helping yourself and other people move forward and understand that, how you can improve and grow, and also give other people more context into the impact that they're having by what they're saying or what they're not taking seriously. So it is really good. It is really good. I'm not very far in. I think I'm only on like chapter 3 or something like that. So I'm very, very happy to be reading that. Oh, I forgot to show my summer fling chart. So far I have been filling in all of my hearts. I'm trying to read romance every day as a part of the summer fling, and so far I have been successful. I have continued to read at least a little bit of romance every day. I think my lowest page count was last week, sometime with 3, and then I started including when I was reading Twilight and Midnight Sun, so it got into the hundreds, but generally it's more like between 20 to 30 to 50, so somewhere in there, which is actually a really interesting and good gauge for me to know, because I keep on trying to want to read more romance, and I see all of the titles on my TBR is just growing and growing and growing. But if the real reality check is when I'm actively trying to read romance daily and I only read 330 pages a day, well, then maybe I need to get really either I can try and increase that, or I can be at peace with that, hopefully. That would be good. But also 330 pages a day is 900 pages a month. So that's 300-page books. So maybe I should not think I can read more than that, because this is me actively reading romance. So that's some food for thought for my TBR, which I am just not having any luck with. Oh my gosh, my September TBR, I was supposed to film it today, and I'm I don't even know where to start. I do know where to start, with a cup of tea, because that's where everything starts. But I have so many ideas, and I don't think I'm going to do any readathons, because I've been doing 2 full months of readathons, and I think I need a break, but I am at a bit of a loss. Anyway, let's go to History Challenge. So I haven't read too much more from the History Challenge, but I have finished, I think, the next chapter in The History of the World in Bite-Sized Chunks by Emma Marriott. I'm still really, really early days. BC still. I think I just went from BC to AD, so still a lot to go. So I am enjoying that. Continuing to love the Viking, the Illustrated Guide to Viking Martial Arts. I think I am now in unarmed combat, and so I've done Axe and Shield, those are both really great chapters. And so I'm on to unarmed combat, and then there's combined combat, so multiple people, and then I think horse combat, on horse combat. So I'm close. I'm actually quite well into this. I should probably finish it up this weekend, which would be good, because I want to get to Saxon, Vikings, and Romans. This is one of the Osprey guides, and a lot of them are available on Scribd as PDFs, and I only got 5 pages into this. It's 50 pages long, so it's not long, but I got a stronger sense of who the Saxons were, and the Vikings, and the Vikings and the Normans, I know who they are, but the Saxons, actually, it is sort of a lot of people do get grouped together into who the Saxons are, so that made me feel better that it wasn't just me trying to why what does this term mean, who is this, when is this, where are we looking. So I'm right in the middle of them explaining who the Saxons are, and And so that is going well. And I did make my accordion book, but I haven't started doing any entry in that. I talked about that in my TBR video, so I'll link that up above if you are interested, because it's a book where I'm trying to work on documenting some of the information that I find out from this and doing a bit of a timeline for both, nonfiction work that I read, as well as some fictional work that I read. So I have a sense of, okay, like the Vikings TV series that's around here, and like, I don't know, like Henry V, he's around here, and like Cleopatra, much more over there, like those kinds of things, just to sort of, that I like, these are stories I know through fiction. However, they are historically set, but I just want to keep the fiction and nonfiction separate, because the fictional stuff could be embellished, and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to be working on that hopefully this weekend as well. Apparently I'm doing everything this weekend. So yeah, that's what I got for today. I did do a review. If you did not see it, I did a review of Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which it's in my first of a set of reviews that I'm doing, which I was gonna do it like a different way and like a different kind of video, and it didn't work out, so I just ended up reviewing it. It's an old book it's from the 70s. It's a Zeitgeist title from the time. It was an interesting read, and I'm really happy with how the review turned out. I have a couple more reviews coming down the pipe. I'll probably do like one a week, and then I don't know, I was gonna do my September TBR, but I haven't filmed it yet, so I don't know. I will hopefully continue to have videos out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know what they will be. One will be a review, and one will be something else. I'll see what I have. See what I have saved. So there you go. Apparently I'm going to be doing lots of reading this weekend. Let me know what you're reading this weekend. Are you participating in the history challenge? And also, this does feel like a bit of the final push to the end of the month, so I might try and not start too much new and just work on what I've already read, or what I've already started, because my currently reading's getting a little in the higher numbers. So yeah, so I'm going to work on that, finishing a few things off, learning about history, enjoying romance, and yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. So that is what I have on tap. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend ahead, and I will see you soon in another video. Thanks so much for watching.